So in the spring of 2017, when I was still in the middle of restoring my 1969 SRV 185, I decided that I wanted to get myself a larger boat that I'd be able to cruise the Trent Severn in. I was happy with the boat I was working on, but realized that to properly cruise along the Trent Severn waterway, I needed something that I'd be able to sleep in and cook in and everything else. So started looking around and found this ad online for a 1974 Sea Ray SRV 240 weekender. Price was reasonable. Called a guy, talked him into an even more reasonable price, so I went to take a look at it. Now it says complete boat, motor, and trailer for sale. Well, it was a boat, had a motor, had a trailer, but it wasn't quite complete. Before I went, did some research, found a 1974 Sea Ray Flyer online. Some pictures, features, information, little cutaway drawings of what the boat originally had. Of course, when I went to see it, didn't have any of that kind of thing. But good price, crazy as I am, I bought it, brought it home. Here's a shot of it on the trailer on the way home in the pouring rain. The rear transom was so rotten, I was a little worried that the swim platform was going to fall off. The teak swim platform that somebody had painted red for some reason. It actually had a mushroom growing on the inside of the transom. Not a good sign. Here's a shot of the boat once I got it home, looking down from the deck. This one was not going to fit into my garage. That's my garage behind it. It's taller than the garage. Front windows were all cracked and broken, so we pulled those off right away. Here's a shot of the inside after I took the roof off to clean it and re-waterproof it. The canvas is actually in pretty good shape. Just needed to be sealed up. Certainly doesn't have much of an interior in it. Looking from the helm, the fish finder and a compass, both very dirty. Don't know if they work. Quick shots of the inside of the cabin from when I got it. Headliner falling down, not much left inside. This is what used to be the head. Just a porta potty with a pump out. Shot of the engine, Ford 302 225 Mercruiser, running through a Merc Trans 2 into a Mercruiser TR drive. Here's a shot of the helm, the gauges. Again, I don't know what works, what doesn't. Just for fun, I checked online to see what a boat like that would look like in good condition. Here's a shot of a 77, same interior layout roughly. Of course, mine didn't look anything like that, but just gives you an idea. This was somebody who was selling one used online somewhere in North America. Anyway, the trailer was in pretty good shape, but some of the suspension needed a little work, so my dad decided to tackle that first and got that working. I'm glad he did, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to move it again. Didn't get a chance to work on the boat at all during the summer because I was still rebuilding my smaller boat. But in the fall, I decided to pull the engine out, so we built a gantry for it. Moved the boat under the gantry with my dad's old Jeep, and then proceeded to lift it out. Once we got the engine lifted out, put it into the garage, moved the boat around to the back. This is the kind of mess I was left in the bilge, but I deal with that later. The other thing I did before I put the boat away, before I tarped it, was to remove the gas tank. Turns out somebody had replaced the original steel tank with an aluminum tank sometime in the past. I think it'll work fine for me. Seems to be in good condition. And then the boat got tarped for the winter. And here it is in the spring again. Took a long time for the snow to melt. Anyway, I snuck in under the tarp in the early spring. Took a little bit of video. Here's a shot of the cockpit. Support holding the bars for the tarp. It's just a little bit of video of the inside of the boat. The beautiful electronics that somebody had in there carefully installed. Yes, this is how they were installed. They weren't attached to anything. I think I'm changing that. Some shots of the transom with the steering gear and everything still on it. Shot of the head. Everything looks a little blue since we're still under a blue tarp. Because of the delay of the warm weather this spring, I decided I would tear into the engine and pulled the heads off. Looks pretty good inside. A couple of cylinders had a little bit, tiny bit of pitting and scoring, so I decided to hone it, put new rings in it. The Merc Trans, the oil cooler had a small leak in it, so I fixed that. Hopefully have that ready to go. Warmer weather coming, I decided to remove the engine mounts, steering, all the wiring that would be in the way, and start tearing into the boat. You can see here the transom, I haven't touched it yet other than pulled everything out, and here, but I can feel it soft, push in, and the edges of what looked like wood just falls apart just like this. Obviously, transom needs to go. The inner skin of it is just flapping loose. The upper part, I can push my hand in. It's completely spongy. I can just push my fingers inside, and bits of what used to be wood fall right out. Obviously, going to need a lot of work. So going inside the boat, taking a look around, you see the hole down there where the gas tank used to be. Bucket for putting garbage in as I clear it out. This is the hole where the mushroom originally was growing, but you can see the inner skin is completely loose. I can shove my fingers right inside the transom. There's little bits of mushroom there. This is the inside where the steering arm went through. Again, completely soft. In fact, it's hollow now. Pieces just fell out, so I can put my fingers in. This transom is in bad shape. It won't take much effort to take it apart though. These are the side shelves. Overall fairly solid, but the back parts where the water was leaking through from what was supposed to be the ventilation hoses are completely rotted out on both sides. Not a big deal to replace, but just another part of the result of the negligence. This is an interesting cutout in the floor, full of foam. Not sure yet why this is here. Okay, going up into the cabin. The floor is nothing more than a fiberglass skin over rotten wood. You can see here it just flexes. If I was any heavier, I'd probably go through. All the wood underneath is completely rotted out. As I said, the cabin is completely gutted. Little bits of headliner still hanging down. Going to need a lot of work, but at least I don't have to tear much out because somebody else did it for me. You can see the red on the outside is the original gel coat because the sun is shining right through the hull a little bit at the top. This is what's left of the original electrical systems. Obviously, I'm redoing everything. This is a bit of a rat's nest. Nice fuse panel hanging there. Of course, that's all going to be replaced. Even the stringers inside the cabin are completely falling apart. And I have an old cushion stuck in here in what used to be the head. So, the project begins.